Okay, my name is Devin Callahan. I help out here at Patriot with marketing and construction.
Miranda Rott, owner and founder of Patriot Heat and Air.
I'm Justin Yoakum, sales manager here at Patriot Heat and Air.
Trevor Clifton, and I do whatever they tell me to.
Which is a lot.
Move a lot.
So there are lots of questions that we get asked on a pretty regular basis, and I feel like we don't always get an opportunity to share those things. So what we wanted to do was kind of address some of those questions. The big hot topic right now has to do with the refrigerant change. As of January 1st, the EPA is requiring us to change all of the equipment refrigerant that is used, and this has happened once before, but it's a big thing right now, and not everybody knows about it, and there's a lot that they need to know. What are you guys running into in the field? What conversations are you having?
Nobody knows about it.
Nobody knows.
If it was something of a drastic change in the type of fuel we use for our cars, everybody would know about it.
Know.
Everybody would be talking about it. This is not that case.
Nope, it's an out of sight, out of mind fox. What do you share about it, Justin?
I really haven't had many customers that know anything about it. Fortunately, we are in a position where we fairly well stocked with the older style refrigerant. I say older, which is different. Current style refrigerant. I've been through 2 different refrigerant changes now in my time in heating and air. So yeah, really most consumers don't know that it's happening for the most part. And so it's weird. It's weird that everybody knew that 410A was coming as far as consumers and the whole world seemed to know that. This time around, it just seems to have gone under the radar for whatever reason.
Sneaky.
Yeah. I don't know whether it was just the way it came about, from the top down, from the federal government, that it's, hey, we're just going to push this agenda quicker. And so the rest of us didn't really get the time to properly see that pathway to it. I think that has something to do with it. Is it crazy different than 410A? In a lot of ways, as far as operating pressures in the system, it's slightly less than what we're used to dealing with. It is it's not flammable, but it is
mildly ignitable.
Yeah. So
which is terrifying. When people hear that, they're like, "It's ignitable." We've watched several videos and several trainings on this where they're, literally holding a sparker in front of that gas as it's flowing, and it'll barely spark, but it will not sustain a flame. But it does cause a lot of changes for the equipment itself and the safeties that are now involved in the equipment. So when I look at pros and cons of making this change, that's kind of one of the items that I'm like, well, it's a pro because there's devices in every indoor and outdoor unit now that tell you if there's a refrigerant leak. But it's kind of also on my cons list because the basic mathematic rule says the more things in the box, the more things that can break. So there's that as well. What are the other pros and cons that you guys see for our consumers?
Right. For this I think the driving force, and I know we don't talk about politics and the way that the change has happened, but it sounded like to me that the main objective was to help protect the environment. That 410A wasn't as great for the environment as this new refrigerant.
Yeah, the new one has a lower global warming potential, and that's been the goal. So that's great. What are the other differences for the customer?
Well, I heard it's more expensive, right?
Yes.
It's kind of the elephant in the room.
That is. Prices in our industry go up every January, but when you change entire manufacturing lines to retool and have new research and development for new products and new refrigerants,
and new components
that all
that
gets
are in those
along.
equipment
Right.
that's in that equipment
that all gets passed along
there before. So
yeah, so this is one of the largest price increases that we've seen. We saw several big price increases in our industry during COVID, but this is one of the largest that we've seen outside of that, where they're telling us anywhere between 15 and 20% our cost increase in equipment, which is
a big number. I've heard Justin talk to a lot of our customers about the unknowns. Mm-hmm. So being a guinea pig, because it is new everything.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the push to bring it to market as quickly as it happened, there was not a lot of, and I say that I don't work at the corporate level of American Standard, or maybe they've been testing it for years and years and years.
Sure.
I'm sure that there's somebody there has as to which direction they should go. Um, but even that being said, we on our level, it's a different installation procedure than what we're used to. You know how we've done 410A for so many years now. We know the correct way to braze with nitrogen and purging and you know the whole process that we've used for years and years for that. I'm sure some of it's going to transfer over to the new refrigerants as well. But there's going to be other nuances. They're going to be there as well.
We're going to find the bugs, right?
We are going to find the bugs.
You remember 2010 when we went from R22 to 410A, there was a higher pressure refrigerant, and all of a sudden, 6 months, a year, 2 years in, this flood of coil change out.
Absolutely.
Because they were leaking. And so we know that we're going to be the ones to find those bugs. And it's not avoidable, but I like the option for our customers to be able to say, well, I'd either like to purchase the tried and true product that I know right now we've already kind of worked the kinks out of, versus I want to take on that new option and be the guinea pig for whatever we work out.
I don't know that I would call it a guinea pig. It's definitely new. I wouldn't call it a guinea pig. The manufacturer is still going to stand behind the product.
Absolutely.
And everything, and we're going to do everything standing behind our processes, procedures, and everything as well. So I wouldn't call it a guinea pig situation. It just feels odd. I kind of the same way. I'm not one to jump on the bandwagon for the first of something, and so just because I don't want to deal with it, but doesn't mean that somebody isn't gonna deal with it.
Right.
And so we'll still support all of our customers whether they choose the old style refrigerant, current style refrigerant, or the future style refrigerant. And listen, there's 410A has been around for a lot. When I first got into the industry 28 years ago, whatever it was, 410A was around then, and so it's been around for a long, long time. And it's going to continue to be around for a long, long time. So, but at some point, like R22 refrigerant, it's going to go by the wayside. The costs are going to go up on it. But I don't foresee that being until it's time to replace your system again. You know, we're looking at another 20 years from now, probably, before that finally is starting to happen. So, whether you choose the old style, current style refrigerant, my goodness, current style refrigerant or the new style refrigerant, I think you're making a great choice either way. So, yeah, so that's just kind of my thoughts on it.
Well, like you said, we're not brand new. The R&D, you're not talking about a guy in a small back room at the factory.
Correct.
How big is the factory? A million square feet or something crazy like that? Or 1 point something?
Yeah, and that's just a production factory in Tyler, Texas.
That's
That's
only like
not
half of the
even
system,
research
right?
and development.
Yeah. Yeah, so there is incredible resources available. And so, like you said, there's been somebody anticipating this for years coming. And they've done all kinds of, put millions of dollars into this, I'm sure.